Hey y'all, so I just wanted to come on here and talk about this recent incident where a young black man named D'Arreion Toles was blocked from entering into a luxury apartment complex where he resides by a woman who happens to be white. So it appeared from watching the video that the white woman who was blocking him saw him entering from off the streets, and she didn't believe that he lived there. So she was trying to find out who he was and what unit he lives in. He kept telling her repeatedly to move out of his way, and she was refusing to move out of his way. He also showed her an electronic key fob, or one of those cards that many developments use for extra added security for their residents. He showed her that card, kind of like as proof that he does in fact live in that apartment complex. So that wasn't good enough for her. So she continued to ask him which apartment he lives in, and it just got to the point where he lost patience with her and he moved her out of the way. And so I watched the video a couple of days ago, and I found her behavior to be very appalling. I know from watching that video that that woman is an undercover racist or bigot. I saw one of the videos in my feed of recommended videos where she had done an interview with the major news networks saying that she's not racist. Come on now, y'all know that's some straight up bullshit. She just doing damage control and trying to find a way to save face, especially after she got fired from her job because of that. To D'Arreion's credit, I can tell that he's a classy guy who has respect and was raised to have respect, especially respect for women. Because you know that if she had done that to a person who was ghetto and wasn't raised to how to behave in public and, how to show restraint and self-discipline and control, they would have just simply pushed her ass out the way from the beginning, and then she probably would have ended up calling the police on them and having them arrested. So it's a good thing that he was recording that incident, because it could have ended up with him being arrested. And quite frankly, I think she should have been arrested, because it's like she was stalking the man. I mean, in the beginning, she said that she kept asking this man, which apartment do you live in? Like, that's none of your damn business. Obviously, the man lives there because he was able to enter the building with one of those electronic cards or key fobs that some developments use in order to provide extra security to their residents. And he showed that to her, and that wasn't good enough. I'm thinking that she believes that because he's black, that he shouldn't be able to afford to live in a luxury complex like that. I'm quite sure if she saw the average white man or white woman entering the building, she wouldn't have questioned them. But because he's a young black male, all of a sudden, her antenna goes up, and she believes that he's not a resident there, or shouldn't be a resident there. I showed the video to my mom, and the way she responded was that she didn't believe that the woman is racist because of the way her interaction went. She said that the woman wasn't calling him the N-word. She wasn't screaming at him. She felt like the lady was polite. And I'm like, you consider blocking someone from entering into their own apartment complex polite? She said, yeah. if she was racist, she would have called him a nigger, and she probably would have called the police on him immediately. My mom thinks that the woman likes him and that she's seen him there before, and she wanted to approach him, but maybe she didn't know how to approach him, so that was her way of trying to get to know him. And I'm like, well, that's, if that's the case, she has a very strange way of showing that she likes someone. If it were me, if I was that young man and she approached me for a date after that incident, I'd be like, nah, I don't think so. I'm going to pass. Because clearly something ain't ticking too right there. If that's the case. I don't know. It seems like these things are happening more often where white people are calling the police on black people for doing normal everyday things. Like I remember reading a few years back in the paper about this guy, this black man who was at a park just sitting in his car, minding his own business and reading a book. And all of a sudden, several police cruisers pulled up on him wanting to know what he was doing there. So apparently another person at the park called the police on him. Why? Probably because he's black. To me, these things are occurring more often because Donald Trump is in office. Now, I don't particularly like Donald Trump's personality or his character. Some of his policies I agree with, and there's others that I don't agree with. And this isn't about me not liking conservatives or Republicans, because to be honest with you, I don't trust Democrats either. There's corruption and dishonesty on both ends of the spectrum, from the far right to the far left. And I consider myself to be more of a centrist and a moderate when it comes to politics and social policies. But anyway, it's more to me about, I don't like Donald Trump's character, and I suspect that he's a closeted racist because of his affiliations with the alt-right and because of some of the comments that he's made about other ethnic groups, non-white ethnic groups. And so, so for anyone to say that racism does not exist, you have to be living up under a rock or just willfully ignorant and in denial. If you're thinking that racism no longer exists, it still exists, but it's not as out in the open and blatant as it used to be back in the Jim Crow era. So anyway, I just wanted to come on here and give my quick take on this incident, and I hope y'all have a good day.